Hi everyone, I'm Rob Watson. I'm the module leader for TECH1002, Social Media and Technology. And what I'm going to do in this short video is just give you an overview of what we'll be covering in the third lecture of our lecture series, which is entitled McLuhan and the Global Village. So what we're looking at, following on from last week's lecture about mediation, what we're going to do is look at some of the key ideas that Marshall McLuhan, a kind of very famous media theorist, came up with as a kind of precursor to things like the internet. The global village was the term that McLuhan came up with. Also things like the idea of the medium is the message, which is one of McLuhan's key phrases that he's known for, in the sense that what a technical form of media does and how it changes how we interact with the world and who we think we are, how we think we are, and how we understand each other. So I'm going to cover this by looking at the kind of some of the key ideas associated with this, but also to look at it in the context of some of the popular culture and popular media that was available at the time in the kind of late 1950s and early 1960s, just as television was becoming, if you like, the global phenomena that it subsequently became. And there's two key figures that we're going to briefly look at. We're not going to go into a massive amount of detail. It's just like a pointing in the right direction, if you like. We're going to look at the work of Andy Warhol, who's a famous conceptual artist, operating in the late 1950s, 1960s, through to the 70s. And a band that was associated with Andy Warhol in an early stage of their career, which is the Velvet Underground. So looking at the idea of how they treated music and media and film and performance as something which was more than just a kind of a product, if you like. They regarded it as more of a kind of an artistic expression. So they're the kind of general ideas that we're going to cover in the lecture. As ever, I've produced a set of notes based on the lecture that I'll be working from. I do a PowerPoint slides presentation, and it has lots of clips and lots of media in it, so I'm not going to reproduce this, and I'm not going to record this because it's just too awkward to chop and change from different types of media. But what I will do is these are posted up, the notes that the lecture is based on, with links to the different videos and media that I've used. This is posted up on the DMU Commons wiki, so you can download this in advance and get a sense of what the lecture's about before you get to it. You don't have to do that. You could, I'm very happy with you just to kind of sit and let the lecture unfold. That's a really good way of anticipating what's coming up, or you can kind of read some notes in advance. You get access to the notes by going to the DMU Commons wiki, and there's a link there in the lecture notes section of the TECH1002 page. So that's wiki.our.dmu.ac.uk. That's wiki.our.dmu.ac.uk. So you can get access to the notes. They're also listed on the wiki is the reading for this week, and that's taken from the Jones and Hafner book, which is Understanding Digital Literacies, one of the core texts for the module. And I want you to look at, in advance if you can before the lecture, chapter 8, which is about kind of online cultures and intercultural communication. So how we use different types of media and what kind of sense we make from it in a cultural sense, which is kind of a crucial part of what we're thinking about. I've also identified something for you to watch if you get the chance before the lecture, and it's a documentary about the Velvet Underground. It should be quite entertaining. There's a link there. It's on YouTube. If you want to watch the whole thing, it's about 90 minutes long. If you want to watch the whole thing, that'd be great. Very interesting band. Some of the kind of key ideas that emerge that we see all around us now in pop music and popular culture were formed and originated in the work that the Velvet Underground did, and other bands as well. So the notes are posted up on the wiki. Please bring your notebook and pen. Taking notes is an essential part of the way that we deliver this module, so an oral presentation where it's spoken. And I don't tend to just stick to the script. I don't just tend to stick to this like a kind of rigid formula of I read this out. That would be incredibly dull, I think. Sometimes it fires off ideas and discussion as you go along. So I think one of the things to do is make sure you've got your notebook and your pens with you so that you can write down keywords, or that you can doodle or draw images, or you can do a mind map. Anything that appears on the screen is reproduced in these notes in terms of text and diagrams. A lot of the pictures and the videos and things like that, they're there as links so you can follow them on. So yeah, so that's the lecture for week 2. Hopefully it's a good interactive lecture, and that we can fire a lot of ideas off about the way that we consume and think about our media culture that we're part of now.